boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen around the world. It's once again time for the Backstage Slam podcast. That's right, the Backstage Slam here live in your ear holes or recording, whenever you're listening to it. I'm Josh, here to talk to you this evening. This is episode number 216. Yeah, 216. Welcome. I'm glad you could be here with us tonight. Looks like I'm going to be running solo here, running down the events or whatever of Hell in a Cell. I'm glad you all decided to stop by, join me for this evening. If you're in the Facebook live chat over there at SemiCoreStudios.com, feel free to say hello and join me on this discussion. Let me know your thoughts on what was Hell in a Cell 2020 for WWE. Now, I made it pretty clear last week that I'm not a fan of this particular pay-per-view as a pay-per-view, mostly because I believe the Hell in a Cell structure itself should be used as a final resort as far as storytelling goes. It should be the last line in a feud. And with Drew and Randy, it seemed to be the case. That's cool. Bayley and Sasha, maybe didn't really, need things like that. But who am I to say? I'm just a guy. I don't like having something like that scheduled. It should definitely, in my opinion, be something that's built up to, not built for. I digress. But, like I said, it's all about Hell in a Cell here tonight. There were some other topics that I wanted to get into, but, some things just don't sound so good when it's one person giving their opinion, and I was kind of hoping there would be someone to talk about this Twitch thing with. I don't know what I just unplugged, but I hope it wasn't important. Yeah. You know what? I will give a brief thought on that. With the WWE taking over some talent, Twitch streams. Gosh, I'm can't say that I'm a fan of that. And yeah, I get that there's thing that if somebody's using their name that the WWE gave them, sure, that's. I'm not saying take over their stream, but I'm saying you're using a name that was given to you that you don't own, so it is it's a little sketch to profit off that outside the company. But if you're like an AJ Styles who made their name outside of WWE, that, in my opinion, should put your name, your stream off limits to the, and I'm going to say it, the corporate overlords. It seems really unfair. That's why Xavier Woods uses Austin Creed, right? Instead of Xavier Woods. I mean, it would be easy for him to just use the WWE name, and who knows, it might have led to bigger success out the gate. But he built something using his own his indie name, and that should count for something, right? I mean, if you're not using the name WWE gave you, if you're using your real name, I just don't feel like that should be something that WWE can do anything about, let alone take over, right? And in the meantime, some talent have decided to stop doing these things altogether. It's an unfortunate truth that we now live in. You got people that are doing their own thing with their own money on their own time, being controlled by the company and losing control of their personal ventures to said company. And at the same time, the company is still listing them as independent contractors. Let that sink in for a second. They're being told that they're not actually employees, but you can't work for the competition, and you can't do anything publicly, apparently, without company approval or control. But you're still not an employee. How about that? So my, I guess my sincerest condolences to all of the Twitch streams that have been lost over the last couple of weeks as the WWE started setting out their new policies on taking control of the talent's streaming channels and revenue, taking all the money and saying, you'll get a percentage of it. It's like, no. That's theirs. They made it. They built it. It's theirs. Again, I say it's understandable if they're using the WWE name that they were given, but in a lot of cases that is not the case. So that's freaking rough. I mean, just when you thought that the company itself couldn't really stoop any lower on a ethical standpoint, because that, to me, this is an ethics thing. This is an ethics problem, but it's really more symbolic of the world we live in today, and it's tiring. It is so tiring. It is absolutely exhausting to try and put together and figure out the actions of these people, that these companies that feel this way, that feel like they can control the lives of the people that work for them. We had this before many years ago, but that was supposed to be all gone. The days of corporate control over our personal lives was supposed to be gone. And I'm not talking about, just, the ads that are, force feeding you their products. They're trying to sell you something every minute of every day. And that's not what I'm talking about. Yeah, corporatism runs the world. For sure. The money runs the world. But when it comes to things that you do on your own time, that was supposed to be different. If you're on the company's time, yes, you're an employee. You're supposed to do what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get your job done. But when you're not on the company clock, when you're at home and you want to entertain people by playing video games or hosting a little chat show, and you're using your real name, and you're not associating yourself directly to the WWE in any way other than, hey, I show up on their shows every once in a while, and they pay me to do so. I'm under contract with them. Now I'm going to guess that there is some sort of language in the contract that makes this all perfectly fine and legal. Something about likeness rights and broadcasting, and I guess you're saying maybe Twitch streaming is part of this. If that's what makes it all possible, I mean, it doesn't change my opinion. If somebody wants to have a Twitch channel, I think that should be theirs. But doing Twitch is a far cry from national advertising campaigns, right? I mean, I can understand if AJ Styles is being courted by just a random company, Chick-fil-A. Coincidental that certain things happen to align. With their moralities. I promise. So if AJ Styles is approached by Chick-fil-A without approaching the WWE at all, and he decides, I'm AJ Styles, it's my name, I'm going to do this national campaign. And no, this is not any kind of formal opinion on Chick-fil-A or AJ Styles or the WWE at this particular point in time. But if he decided to unilaterally go forward and do this advertising campaign without the consent of his, well, not his employers, because he's an independent contractor, but by the people he's contracted with, i.e. the WWE, I can see why there would be a problem in that, because he would be literally endorsing a product on a national scale, and maybe they don't fall in line with the morals or standards of WWE. Maybe they don't want him to do it because they don't want him endorsing such a great chicken sandwich. Maybe they have a deal with Burger King, and they're like, no, we can't have our talent endorsing our, paid advertisers competition. That's nuts. And essentially, I still wouldn't like it from an independent contractor point of view, but I get it. You need to shut down things like that using your people to advertise for a competitor of someone that's paying you. Like I said, I don't like it, but I get it. And I think independent contractors should be able to do whatever the hell they want. Hence the independent part of independent contractor. Now, I see Twitch as a completely different thing, though. Because the WWE is not saying, hey, stay off of Twitch. They're not saying, we're YouTube people, we don't do Twitch. In fact, it seems like they're not discouraging Twitch channels at all. I don't know why they would, because, I mean, after all, it's just another revenue stream. So, why not just let them have their fun, let them have their communities, let them have their online family, so to speak, as a couple of people have pointed out that their Twitch communities are much more than just, fan interaction. It's much more than just playing video games. It's about coming together about something these groups all mutually love, whether it's video games, sports, whatever. It's being able to lower the veil, so to speak, and take away the barriers to be able to talk to people that you admire, look up to, or just think are cool, as in the talent, and just, I don't know. It's a bad position to take, in my opinion, and I don't like the fact that some people have decided to just end it in their streams rather than put it under the control of a WWE branding thing. Not that I disagree with them ending it, because if I feel if that's what they want to do, that's absolutely what they should do. I just don't like the fact that they had to make that choice, that they have to basically cut ties with all of the people that they've met and corresponded with, and enjoyed being around virtually, especially during a time like this. WWE wants to control everybody in what they do. And since the whole COVID thing, the outbreak, it seems like they want to do that for virtual appearances as well. And that's why they're hosting their own meet and greets online. It's unsettling to me, and I'm almost positive if there were others around that I might get an amen on that. But with that being said, I guess, let's see, what are we, 17 minutes into the show? Still, wow, I kind of went off, like I said, tangent, right? This far in the show, I guess I should say Happy Halloween. It's Halloween here in the United States. No, we didn't do trick-or-treating. What the kids and I did, we stayed home, bought candy, and watched scary stories to tell in the dark. Spooky movie, candy. We basically hit all the usual milestones, I guess. And I think everybody had fun. As you could probably tell in the background, they're still having fun. It's after all Halloween night. They're loaded up on a little sugar. I ordered a pizza tonight. Thought it would be good. Let's have some pizza. Ordered it at 7 o'clock. It showed up 9:30. It's man, I could have eaten a couple of times by then. But I digress. You know what? Time to yeah. Time to get to Hell in a Cell. You know what? I'm going to take a brief second to check on something real quick. Let me play a little bit more for you of this banging intro. All right, sorry about that little brief little break. That music is pretty kicking though. Oh, where was we? Okay, we're going to talk about Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell. That's a pay-per-view that took place 6 days ago, live on the WWE Network. Full disclosure, first and foremost, I did not watch the entire show, and that little disclosure right there is going to lead into a much bigger announcement later. So, yeah, little foreshadowing. So, I did not catch the pre-show. At the time we did the picks, the card only had 5 matches. 2 were added. It was pretty much in whole agreement that there would for sure be matches added. And that was the general consensus on last week's episode. And we were correct. There were matches added, starting with the pre-show, R-Truth defending the WWE 24/7 Championship against Drew Gulak. And, well, R-Truth won. 5 minutes, 45 seconds. And the other match what added was, during the pre-show, Mustafa Ali challenged the Hurt Business to a match with one member of Retribution facing one member of the Hurt Business and allowing the Hurt Business to choose the challengers. So, yeah, then that'll come into play a little bit later. But the show proper... Sorry about that. A little technical issue. The show proper started with Roman Reigns defending the WWE Universal Championship against Jey Uso in a Hell in a Cell I Quit match. God, this was awful. It was 29 minutes and 20 seconds of pure awful. I couldn't even get into the story of it like last time, because at least it made sense. It was 29 minutes of Jey Uso getting his ass kicked. And this was essentially, of course, because, okay. The stipulation, other than the I Quit Hell in a Cell stuff, was if Jey wins, he's, of course, Universal Champion. If he loses, he and Jimmy have to be subservient to Roman. We all knew where this was going. There was no way Jey was going to walk out with the Universal Championship. It's a hell of a way to put together a stable. Starting out with dissension, reluctance, I guess. I don't like it. I'd rather have the family come together naturally and be on board with it as a strong unit, rather than we don't want to be here, but we gotta be, because if we don't, Roman's gonna kick everybody out of the family and whatnot. And then we had to watch this beat down for 29 minutes, and I'm not gonna say there were no good spots. I really enjoyed the spot where the officials came in and, rather than, exiting the ring, Roman just shuts the door and he's like, well, nobody's going anywhere. I like that. I think that was pretty much the only thing that I liked. I did not care for the crying Roman, acting like this is a big conflicting thing. No, I rather would have just seen him go, I don't care what you're saying, Jimmy. and I'm going to hurt you. Rather than, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know who I am anymore. Oh, wait, nope. Time to choke you out. Not a fan, but I kept watching. So Roman Reigns retains 29-20. And that was the first match on the proper show. Next up, we had Elias and Jeff Hardy, who at least put on a match-ish. There was a little back and forth, but it all ended when Elias went for the guitar. Jeff Hardy took it away and hit him with it. So Jeff Hardy, once again, proving that he doesn't really think before he acts, and hands Elias the win, which, by the way, if I'm still not mistaken, is all based and built on a misunderstanding anyway. Because, why does it matter, you're asking? Why does it matter that it was a misunderstanding, that this whole thing could be avoided? Because, yeah, Elias is kind of being a jerk, but it's understandable because he thinks Jeff hit him with a car. A freaking car. It's definitely not the first attempted vehicular homicide in WWE history. A couple of them actually spring immediately to mind. But you would think Elias might want to know exactly who did it, instead of just going after Jeff. I mean, after all, everything's recorded, everything's seen, right? It should be easy to have him figure it out. Because I don't want to boo Elias for trying to get revenge on somebody who thought hit him with a car, and I don't want to. I kind of do want to boo Jeff. It's not great. Next up you know what? I'm going to say it. The match of the night. The Miz defeated Otis in 7:25 to take the Money in the Bank contract. Otis looked good out there. I still prefer him to be a tag team guy. That's apparently not going to happen anymore. After Tucker's actions, which cost him the Money in the Bank contract, in case you missed it, in case you missed Raw, or I guess in case you missed SmackDown. I didn't watch SmackDown. I did catch Raw, the 90-minute Hulu version. Be proud of me, I guess. Tucker decided that he's going to turn on Otis. So he did. And then hit Otis with a briefcase and cost him the match, leaving Miz to do his what look, and then that slowly turns into the smile. He goes for the pin, and then of course it brings on the speeches of, I did it, I beat it, I want to make this thing respectable again. Hey, remember the last time I cashed in on Money in the Bank, and who it was on? That's right, it was Randy Orton, and it was at blah 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 blah. You get it. So yeah, 7:25. It was the match I enjoyed the most from everything that I saw, because next up, Sasha Banks defeated Bayley via submission in Hell in a Cell for the SmackDown Women's Championship in a match that went 26-35. I've been saying it forever. This is not a feud I want to see again, just because they swapped roles. Sasha the face, Bayley's the heel. It did not make me want to see it anymore, let alone a 20-plus minute match. I just this match didn't seem to catch fire at any point, and I found it very hard to enjoy. I don't know why. It was not. It was not a match for me. And honestly, this is where I stopped. As soon as Sasha won, I was like, I'd rather go to bed. Honestly, I'd rather go to bed, and that's it. I went to bed after this match. Which brings us to that other added match of the night. Bobby Lashley defeated Slapjack. United States Championship on the line. 3 minutes, 50 seconds. Retribution is... Did it ever really get off the ground? Even after everything that happened this week on WWE programming, is it off the ground? Because I don't know. I don't know. But that, like I said, 3 minutes, 50 seconds. And finally, Randy Orton defeated Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship in Hell in a Cell, in a match that went 30-35 words, right? Didn't watch it. I did make sure Anna got a nice little GIF image of a tree being blown up. Yes, yes, I did that. And yes, Anna, I am an ass. These things are true. But, as a whole, any pay-per-view that I have to quit watching early because I'm not feeling it, I can't give high marks to. It's like maybe a C at best, if you're using the letter grade system. My picks were, of course, way off because I talked myself into a storyline which everyone else seemed to think was, pretty darn good. They thought, hey, that would be a wonderful direction for them to go in, which, of course, made me go, yeah, it's probably not the direction they're going to go in. And the funny thing is, with a couple of these matches, I actually did call them absolutely 100% correct. I talked myself out of making those the official picks. Like, what was it? The Miz and Otis? No. Sasha Banks and Bayley. I picked Mandy to win the match. And I picked Otis to retain the Money in the Bank. And I figured Otis would have Mandy take the contract to make it a triple threat match. And then Hell in a Cell. And then she could walk away with the championship. That was my thought. That was my thought process. Would it have been fun? Yeah, I think so. But that is not what happened. And Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, was like, Drew, he's got to hold on to the title so he and Big E can have an epic WrestleMania match. That would be awesome. The Big E trying to get back to his boys in the New Day by winning, because I had him winning the Rumble in this story. He would win the Rumble and challenge Drew, and at WrestleMania 37, the storyline is the man who was robbed of his WrestleMania moment by COVID gets a shot to finally have his Mania moment versus Big E, the guy that just wants to get get back to his family. Still love that idea of a storyline, but rather than setting those pieces in place starting tonight, Randy Orton won the championship, which set forth the events that I had in my mind. The second scenario, if you will, that I talked about on last week's episode, which was Drew loses the title. So yes, he can get his WrestleMania moment, but instead of being a defending champion, he will win it again at Mania, so we can have that crown pop. Which, by the way, it remains to be seen if that will even be a thing, considering the higher numbers. The virus is still spreading pretty rapidly. More people are dying. I don't really want to get into it because there should be a sanctuary from a lot of real-world things. Unfortunately, it's such a massive part of our lives. It is so ingrained into the culture now that it can't be avoided. It's affecting everything, top to bottom. I watched, the season premieres have been happening for the last, 2-3 weeks with the TV shows, and pretty much all the regular shows I watch have been, having some sort of COVID related theme in the pilot, not the pilot, the premiere, excuse me, and. If I had to rate them, I'd say Superstore has been my favorite because it's coming at you from the retail, point of view, and I really dug that episode, the season premiere. It's a great show. Ooh. Okay, well, where are we at time-wise? Yeah, like I said, I have a tendency to start going off on things, and what I thought was going to be like a 15-20 minute episode is now pushing 40, just like me, and I guess it's about time to wrap it up. Well, before I do, I just want to thank everybody for dropping by, whether it's live or if you're downloading and listening to this at a later date. I appreciate you. I appreciate for you for being here. It's been a lot of fun doing the Backstage Slam over the years. 200 and what did I say, 16? Yeah, this is 216 episodes. I wasn't on all of them, but I was on a vast majority of them, and I really enjoyed it, and I loved working with everybody that's ever been on the show. Ben, my bestie from Hawaii. Anna, awesome fan from New York, and of course Amber. I don't even know what word describes that friendship. It's quite exceptional. Even the days with good old Michael were pretty awesome. He was a hell of a guy to have around when we had him. But honestly, I think I don't know. I think this might be the end of my run with wrestling. It started out as, a great way for me and Ben to kind of just talk about the events of the day when it came to the pro wrestling world. And then the pro wrestling world became so what it is now. And I'll be honest, my heart's not. And you hear on the show every week, I didn't watch this, I didn't watch that, because I don't have it in me. And it really sucks. I'm not saying I'm not saying that the product really sucks, although I would not say it doesn't. I mean, just not having that feeling that I used to have for it anymore. It sucks. I used to love talking about it. I used to love breaking down the matches. I used to love looking forward to something. And the flame of my fandom has just... it's been virtually extinguished by the big nothing. So I don't see how I can keep doing this when I have lost pretty much all of my passion for this. And it doesn't mean the Backstage Slam's going anywhere, because of course Ben is, what can I say? He's an amazing guy. And it doesn't mean that Ben and I aren't going to work together anymore, because, there are other things that we share a lot of love for. I can't believe the bastard got me into K-pop. Can you believe that? He has me listening to K-pop on the regular. Yeah, what can I say? He opened the door. I stepped through it voluntarily. And I liked what I heard. I liked what I saw. And I don't think that's a door I'm going to shut anytime soon. I definitely do need to get some sort of programming change in line for Semicore to have Ben and I talk about the other crazy things that we love to talk about, because we're both big movie fans, TV fans. We have a lot of passions. It just seems right now wrestling is it's just not there for me. I mean, at the very least, Ben, he's New Japan diehard. He'll follow Naito to hell if he has to. He stays on top of AEW. Ben is he still has a spark. I unfortunately don't have cable. I don't have New Japan's streaming service anymore. I don't have anything except really WWE to hang my hat on, because between being a single parent and work, day jobs, as well as my writing, it's to go out of my way to watch a lot of things it's tough. It gets really tough. Now, I don't want to say that I'm never going to be back, because of course that's ridiculous. There are no retirements in wrestling. This is no exception. but we'll call it an indefinite hiatus. Then again, Backstage Slam's still going to be here, and I will definitely be a listener. I'll even be a frequent commenter. Join the live shows as they're available, share them as they're available, and I don't foresee things changing as far as distribution goes. But I do want you to know that everyone that's ever listened, everyone that ever will listen to these back episodes, I guess if you're listening to it later than October 31st, 2020, thank you. You guys certainly made things interesting in a lot of different ways. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm stepping away. Whew. Okay, well, with that being said, this has been the Backstage Slam episode number 216. Number 217 coming at you probably next week. And I guess for the last time, for the foreseeable future, there's only one thing left to say, and that's too sweet.